the happiest place on earth.
Good morning.
We're a
Welcome to
comedy
the center.
Okay.
Hi, Julius. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Spiritual
See
Living.
you for all you.
Good morning. I'd just like to invite everyone to just relax, settle into your chairs. And if it's comfortable for you, please close or lower your eyes. And let us all take this moment. Take our deep collective breathing and slowly exhale. And allow our mind to be still and know that our true source is much closer than our own very breath. I now go within to my own true divine source, and it centers me. I recognize the divine presence, the energy, the eternal light filling me into the deepest core of my being, allowing it to flow and express itself through me, accepting that I am the perfect idea of this thing itself. I unify my own spirit to this thing itself. I know that this invincible presence supports, guides, directs my thought and action to more good and never-ending good that is always available to me, in me, and around me. I realize that the eternal light, this divine presence I am calling God, in which I live, move, and have my being, is at the very center of all and in my own physical being. I stand at the very spot where the divine presence is. I know I am in a good spot. I affirm and accept it to be true to me and others, the way it works in my relationships and my experiences. So I am filled with gratitude to this thing itself. I call it love, joy, peace, harmony, abundance, divine presence, source. I believe this to be true to me and is true of all people. So I'm saying, thank you, thank you. So, as I am now centered in this space of peace and security, knowing this is also my prayer of love and acceptance today and every day, I'm letting go of my word to the law of divine action with ease and grace, knowing my prayer and meditation are already perfect, whole, and completed. And I ask everyone to say, and so it is.
Good morning. Good morning. Oh, I like that you sang it back. Good morning. Ah, you're cute. I waited all week for this day. I'm gonna sing through this cat hair in my eye. I don't care what it takes. Please sing with me. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always brave. Our thoughts are prayers, with
close or lower your eyes as I offer my prayer this morning. I am so blessed to know that there is only one presence and one power. I call this infinite intelligence, this one mind, God. I am so blessed to know this truth. God is love and life. God is everywhere present. And when I say everywhere present, I mean everywhere present in this world. God is harmony and peace and love. And because I know this is true, I know this is true for me as I express all the love and compassion in my heart. And I know this is true for everyone that hears the sound of my voice. I am that I am, perfect in every way, expressing all that needs to be expressed today, right here and right now. I am so blessed that I am honoring such a wonderful, magnificent spirit in the body of which we call Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King this weekend. What a marvelous, marvelous example. I know that I can do what Dr. Martin Luther King did in my own way. And I know that everyone that hears my voice can do the same thing. I know how to forgive. I know how to release blame and shame. Needs not be in my life today. I know how to bring in all that gives me joy, all the goodness that I know to be true as I follow my direction, my divine guidance, and all that I need to make me just who I want to be in this life. I am so grateful for this day. I am so grateful for our Reverend Stacy, who brings this message today that brings more joy in life and happiness and courage to face what needs to be fought. And to know that in fighting, I am simply releasing, just releasing anything that doesn't work. I am so grateful for our musicians, for Robbie and Patty and David, and our sound technicians and Julius and the teachers and children. And for all of us here right now who know the truth, who know that love in their hearts is all there is. Love in my heart, the joy that I feel, the bliss that is mine is here today and forevermore. And I am so grateful. I can declare this to be so, and now I can release my word to the creative workings of the law, the great universal law that says yes, and know that all is complete, perfect, and done. And so we can say together, and so it is.
Thank you, Kitty, for the prayer. Thank you, Elder, for the beautiful meditation. And now that I've meditated and I've prayed, I want to party. Is that okay? Just saying, is that okay? Now, when you sing these words, you got to believe it, because that's how this whole thing works. So let's just believe what we're singing. Something wonderful is happening to me right now. Something wonderful is happening to me right now. I accept things the way they are. I accept things I just wanted to read from Creating the Beloved Community, written by my mentor and teacher, Dr. Jim Lockhart. Our goal is to create a beloved community, and this will require a qualitative change in our souls as well as a quantitative change in our lives. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. You know that's what we have created here is a beloved community. Yes. And while you're standing, if you would please say with me, God bless America and the rest of the world. And if you turn to a neighbor and friend to say, welcome. Our teens headed off to camp on Friday morning. They got to the airport, I think, about 5 a.m. Their flight was leaving a little after 7 this morning. But they went to camp in Colorado Springs, Colorado this year because of the fires in Malibu for winter camp. They couldn't accommodate us in Southern California, so we went to Colorado. And so, yeah, they wanted to say something to you all. I think we have a little video, Russell, the team. And Kathy. She is a teenager at heart.
Oh, we can't hear it. They're talking to us. He's working on it. It's short and sweet, but
Thank you so much for your love and support and happiness to the team camp. Winter Camp 2019. Worked very hard. We can't wait to tell you about it when we get back. We are so grateful.
they're safe and warm, and it was the roads were a little closed, but they're good. I promise. They've been texting me. They're good. They're having a good time. It's a great experience for them, and I can't wait to hear about it.
What a fun day. Wow, what a fun time we're having. Well, wait till you hear this beautiful duo. I know you have seen Robbie here a few times, and there's nothing like having our brother here. And today he is playing with my better half. So please welcome Robbie LeBlanc.
Yeah, I just want to say how special Dan is on the Devon Acknowledgement. So let's give it up for Dan. This first song I'm going to play, I think I played it here before. It's called Dance With Me, Darling. And the foundation of it is, Vicki and I would be out and about anywhere. We could be in Walmart, and all of a sudden we hear a song, and I turn to her, I say, dance with me, darling. And we would break into this slow little dance. And so it's called Dance With Me, Darling. So as you hear that, shut your eyes. Who would you like to be dancing with? That one again.
Thank you so much, Robbie. That feels like Sunday brunch on the water. Does it not?
And Cheryl's body.
Yes. We love you, Reverend Dan. Did we tell you that?
How wonderful I am.
Oh, how wonderful you are.
Phrases.
Oh, that's the catchphrase today.
That's the catch.
We love you and you're wonderful. Yes, and Cheryl's fine.
Your tapes come on.
She's having a problem with that table.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. How are you? Good. Yeah, it's so good to see you today. Aldo, thank you for the beautiful centering, and Kitty for the beautiful prayer, Robbie for the music, and Patty and Dave for the music, and all of you for showing up and just being your wonderful selves. So, I am Stacy Hilton, and one of the co-senior ministers, along with Reverend Dan and Reverend Cheryl. Very happy to be here on this Martin Luther King Day weekend. I may not be able to do great things, but I can do small things in a great way. Yes. Yes. So the theme this month is learning and embodying science of mind principles. And the top title today is what it does. And Mickey did a fabulous job starting us off January 6th, for that first Sunday in January, where she really covered all 4 sections of the Science of Mind textbook. The thing itself, how it works, what it does, and how to use it. She really did. That's how she lives her life. That's who I know her to be. And so that's what we started her off. And then Cheryl followed that up with the thing itself. The thing itself. So for those of you that don't know, that may be new, even though most of you sound like you came from another Science of Mind church, the thing itself is whatever you call God, spirit, energy, infinite intelligence. And as I was putting on this jacket this morning, I was saying my prayer in the shower to have a smooth and easy, beautiful morning. Whatever you call this, vest. It's not real. Most of you that know me know it's not real. Okay, so don't throw anything at me, please. Don't throw anything at me. But I want you to close your eyes with me for a moment and think of yourself as that abundant, beautiful thing that is peace, power, love, light. And as you believe that about yourself, and as you see that in that, how would you look? Maybe you'd have a crown on. Maybe you'd have pearls. Maybe you'd be drinking a $7,000 glass of champagne. Just still kind of a limiting belief. I guess I wouldn't need a glass, right? I could have a bottle at $30,000. I gotta watch that. What would you be wearing? Would it be mink or fur? I know Joan and Yvonne know you would not have on mink or fur. And many of the rest of us wouldn't have on real mink or fur. What would you be drinking? What would you be? Would you have jewels on? What would that feel like? Because that right there, that essence of who you are is the essence of whatever you call spirit. It's within you. And that is the thing itself. So come on back here. I know it's fun to stay there. You'll come back here a little bit later. That's the thing itself. It's right in here within you. Yes? And then Reverend Dan, the tale of 2 surgeries, which was fabulous. I just absolutely love that. Absolutely love that. Because we get to bring about, we get to construct our lives based upon our thinking about it. It can be fabulous and wonderful, or it could not be. You could be like that tumbleweed, that feeling of that tumbleweed going down that dark, dusty road, just kind of rolling along. And so what it does, it is the law, because God is not only love, or spirit is not only love, or infinite intelligence is not only love, but it is law. And love is very personal. It's personal to each of us. It does not lose anything in within me as it is within Aldo or Kitty or any of the rest of you. It's personal to each of us. And just as that is personal to each of us, the law is impersonal. It just says yes, based upon whatever you put in it. Remember Reverend Dan did the cake baking thing a long time ago? You remember that? I wasn't here that week. He always seems to do these things when I'm not here. And you put the thought, you put the feeling, you put the emotion in that batter. The mold around it is your belief system. And as you put that, take that cake out, you get what you baked. Whatever the mold you put that in. Whatever mold you put that in. What it does, it being the law, is it changes lives. It makes happy to sad. It makes unhealthy to healthy. It makes fear become love. It makes shutdowns become open, vibrant, United States of America. But we got to do our work and put whatever we want in it. And that belief system has to be what we really believe. We have to know what we really believe. What do we believe about the universe? And so this week, as I thought about all the stuff that's going on out there, thank God it's not in here. It's in here a little because we're in here. There's that aspect of our human consciousness that is part of race consciousness, even though we're in here and enjoying each other in here. But I woke up this morning just thinking about a couple of things, and I thought about that tale of two surgeries, and I thought about two people that came to mind. They always come to mind when I think of people that know how to not only pray, but use the tools that they have to manifest that which they say they want. And one of them is Carl Howlett and his beautiful wife, Barbara. You know, I get a text on my phone. Carl, raise your hand. I get a text on my phone about that this is going on with me. He's had a few surgeries, heart surgeries this year. Get a text from Barbara. This is what's going on. This is what I want prayer for. Please pray. Would you like me to tell the ministry of prayer team? Because I don't always tell the ministry of prayer team. Not every single time. But I certainly don't tell the whole community. Because I know that I don't want, if I want to plant strawberries in my backyard, I'm going to plant strawberries in my backyard. But sometimes, if I had somebody else plant, they will plant seeds that I don't want. And so I'm very mindful of who I allow to plant seeds in my garden. You have got to be mindful of that. And we all have the best of intentions. Please know that I do not mean anything otherwise. But sometimes you might have a dad or a grandpa or a great-grandpa that was struggling with heart issues. And so your mind goes to what happened with great-grandpa or grandpa or dad. You feel me? And then Julie Rodella. Where's your hand? Right? Now, Carl's been in this teaching. He's got Barbara. You know, I know they got this. Julie's got this too. She's got this too. And she's been in class much less longer, been here much less longer time period, but she's got it. She texted Abby right away. She said that she fell and broke her hip. Now, how many times you hear about somebody breaking their hip and you hear the next thing is whatever, and it's not positive? She said her affirmation. She texted Abby. We told the minister of prayer team, and she did her affirmations, and she has been consistently moving forward in that realm of, I'm healthy, I got this. When was that, Julie? How long ago?
October 9th is when I broke it.
And she's now driving again. She had a surgery right away. She's now driving again, walking again. She's coming to church again.
Yeah.
So give them both a round of applause. Because that is it's how you use it as well. It's hard to kind of talk about the different things unless you're just talking about the thing itself. It's hard to separate them. But that is certainly what it does. It takes that which you think and feel and are emoting and it moves it to a place of demonstration. Now we know that here amongst us. Still, I still say don't allow people to plant seeds in your yard that you don't want. Be careful of that. But as I woke up Tuesday morning, I was feeling a little bit like down on humanity a little bit. I can't imagine why. And it's not a political thing, it's just in general. Just kind of a feeling when you go out, people aren't, they're kind of, And so I woke up to this great story on the news. Russell?
For nearly 3 months after she was taken from her Wisconsin home in October. The people close to her say they never gave up hope, even if they feared the worst. Jennifer Halverson, Melissa Salmonson, and Michelle Safford are family friends of Jamie's who wanted to help any way they could. Let's go back to Gail in Barron, Wisconsin. She spoke to those 3 women in an interview you'll only see on CBS this morning. Gail, can't wait to see this.
I can't wait for you to see it, Bianca. I love these women. The 3 women you're about to meet only met in person just hours before we sat down for this interview. Over the last 3 months, they were responsible for creating social media and a Facebook page to support the search for Jamie. Together, they never, ever, ever lost sight of their goal of bringing her home. They say with persistence and community. You're not long-term friends, but you came together to do this because what?
Because family, same mission to get Jamie home and to be positive and focus on prayers.
This page all started with this lantern.
Yes, literally with this one lantern.
And were you selling the lanterns, or you were just making
at
it
that moment
just for people to have?
At that moment I made 3 and I was going to give them away, and she texted me back and said, that could be a fundraiser. And I was like, you're right, it could. And she said, you know, to light the way home for Jamie. And I said,
Light the way home.
oh my gosh, you just named a fundraiser.
Yeah.
It just clicked.
You had a strategy, Jennifer.
I did.
What was your strategy?
In the past, looking in the past, everyone that I've seen who has been a missing child, you tend to see the same picture kind of repetitively shared. And I thought people almost become immune to it because they've seen it before and they just scroll past. My thought or concept was to do a new picture of Jamie every single day. And I'd crop or put at different angles.
Like what? Different angles like
So,
what?
for example, I did one where it was all side profiles of Jamie. So should she be in a car and they saw her only this way, then they'd be familiar. The other I took almost from an Elizabeth Smart situation, which when Elizabeth Smart was taken into the public, she had on her, only the eyes were
All you
showing.
saw were her eyes.
Yes.
So you did an
So,
eye shot.
I did.
And you all had the rule, no negativity.
Absolutely.
Right. What did that mean, Melissa? I mean, because you wanted this to be a place of what?
Positivity, prayer, hope, bringing Jamie home. That was the goal.
You all knew the family. You all knew
Yes.
the family, but you didn't really know each other.
Right, correct.
That's what I think makes this so
the family brought us
extraordinary.
together, which it did the whole community, really. Yeah.
Did you all really believe she was going to be found? This is not how most of these stories turn out.
My kids went to the same daycare with Jamie for a lot of years, and I spent a lot of time watching her grow. And even from a distance, I love her. So it wasn't an option.
I mean, it's a big question everybody wants to know is why. This guy had no connection to this family at all. And that's to me, is what makes it so frightening.
Yeah.
That we do not know the answer to that question.
Exactly.
We may never know. I'm just glad that they caught him.
Me too.
I have no doubt that justice will be served, and I think the family will find the closure that they need from all this. And I just have no doubt that Jamie's she can't help but be successful with the strength that family has.
Yes, I think she will.
And then the strength that she displayed, and you put those 2 qualities of strength together, I think they're going to be unstoppable.
Here's your town, the town of Barron, a little over 3,000. It never left the front page here.
Right.
And that's in part because of what you all did.
The thing about our community and about this family is how you see them or how we talk about them isn't because of what's happened.
No.
This is how they've been from the beginning of time. We're just saying it out loud now because somebody's interested in hearing about it because of what's happened to Jamie. I mean, we've had tragedy before, and every time we pull together as a community and doing something. So this isn't the first time that great things have come out of Barron County.
And how has it affected you each personally?
Makes you hug your kids.
So they came together in community. They're not science of mine that I know of. Right? They practice what we practice though, don't they? Didn't they? community, positivity, and prayer. And they didn't take their mind off what they wanted and what they saw. It's what we all are charged to do within this day and time, to be quite honest. Because it gets more challenging every day. I woke up and I said, I'm going to find something inspirational that moves me into a place where I'm feeling grateful about me being the human being that I am and about everybody that's around me. And that's what popped up on that TV screen. First time when I first woke up. It's how it works with everything we do, whether we know it or not, pay attention to it or not. So I would say start consciously paying attention to that which you want to create. It's really important right now, folks, in case you haven't gotten that. Really important. In the Science of Mind textbook, written by Dr. Ernest Holmes, our founder, it says on page 40, the Spirit can give us only what we can take. It imparts of itself only as we partake of its nature. It can tell us only what we can understand. The infinite knowingness becomes our wisdom only in such degree as we embody its intelligence. It has been said that we can know God only insofar as we can become God. This is a far-reaching thought and should be carefully scrutinized. It is to be taken figuratively and not too literally, for we cannot really become God, but we can and do partake of the divine nature, and the universal does personify itself through man and woman in varying degrees according to man's receptivity to it. You know, I warned you about allowing other people to plant seeds in your yard. The other thing that you have to be really, really careful of is knowing what soil is in your yard. Now, for any of you that have tried to plant anything in Las Vegas, you may have, tried to dig something, and you come into this thing and you're like, caliche, right? If you aren't open and receptive, why are you going to plant seeds? What do you need to do before you plant those seeds if you're trying to plant something in caliche? Prepare the soil, right? So many of us aren't open and receptive to anything except for that which we were taught 50 years ago. And we think we are. We come here every Sunday. And it's not the truth, people, because the tipping point would have changed by now if we were open and receptive. We might be open and receptive when we walk in these doors, and we're loving and we're kind and we love one another. But how does that transfer beyond these walls? And I'm not saying it doesn't, but how does it 100% of the time? 50% of the time? 30% of the time? It's something to look at. It's something to look at, because I think that with the 100 people sitting in this room right now, we have the ability to change that. You change it for me when I walk in the door. You change it for one another when you walk in the door. So let's look at what we need to do to prepare the soil. Maybe it's coming to classes. Maybe it's just sitting around having dialogue amongst each other. Maybe it's getting me to understand who you are and you understanding who I am on a different level. But I think once we see one another practicing that with one another, we will see it out there. That out there is a mirror. So, that was kind of preachy. Sorry. Prayer requests. Y'all know where to find them. They're over there, somewhere on that. And that's God's pocket over there. And there's one out there. And so I have a prayer request from somebody very, very special. We're all very special. But this is K.O. And we'll get more into that in a minute. Russell, I'm going to have you start getting that ready for me. But this is what K.O. asked for. I would like to share my God-given gifts and talents to show the world my joy and model it to all that hear my name. I want all to know that I'm an expression of the divine, and I'm grateful to be able to express myself as such. This was the demonstration. So KO was Caitlin Ohashi. And she wrote another prayer request before she wrote that one. And we've got another little video. I want to tell you, this was the second video, so I'm showing them out of order. This is the first prayer request. I would like to be joyful. Fame and glory are not a necessity. I would like to model to the world that body shaming, comparison, and winning have a price to me that is more than I wish to pay. Because it has been paid thus far emotionally, with physical and emotional pain. I'm willing to step out of my role as an Olympic athlete to be all that I was meant to be. Russell.
This is Caitlin Ohashi, impressive to say the least.
There was a time where I was on top of the world, an Olympic hopeful.
Simone Biles.
She will not be the American Cup champion.
Caitlin Ohashi wins it.
I was unbeatable. Until I wasn't.
Guards, take buddy. Hey. How did you fight for me? Do you fight? Please.
This girl's joy is just being present. She just keeps going and going, like nothing's stopping her. Living day by day, enjoying every second of it. Flipping and even at a young age. Even when she didn't have gymnastics, she was still in the gym. Gymnastics was her life.
Caitlin Ohashi of yoga on floor exercise.
That girl that you would think had it all these medals in her room, or podium she's standing on. Goodbye, Shannon.
Well, here's young Caitlin Ohashi.
Double pike dismount here. Yeah, still going to get a very good score, but she can be actually much better.
Fans would tell her that she wasn't good enough. She didn't look a certain way. She wanted to eat junk food and feel okay the next day and not have to worry about getting kicked out because she couldn't make a skill. That meant constantly exercising after a meal just to feel good enough to go to bed. She was on this path of almost invincibility, and then her back just gave out. She wanted to experience what it was like to be a kid again. I was broken. fully knew what I was going through, and I never really could say or publicize what was wrong with me. I was happy to be injured. I was told that it was embarrassing how big I had become. I was compared to a bird that couldn't fly. These are all things that I heard before I had even got injured, things that when I was skinny I was told, so what would they think of me when I had become big? I couldn't accept myself. Gymnastics was my worth, it was my life. I hated myself. It took me finding Miss Val in UCLA and having a different goal and path to follow to finally find joy and love within the sport again.
What is that?
Togetherness.
This is what? Togetherness, bond, the fibers of the trampoline. This is Bruin family, right? And what happens with Bruin family? We trust each other, right? It's about trust. It's about enthusiasm. It's about passion for everything we do. It's about the fact that we're all very unique and we all bring different things to this fiber, right?
I look up to my coach so much. My mom wasn't exactly happy when I quit elite gymnastics and wanted to go to college. Miss Val asked her why she had like a change in her heart. And she said, I see how happy my daughter is. And that's all it took to really to feel like a person again. I think gymnastics can be a very brutal sport. I don't think it's supposed to be a brutal sport. I just hope that in 10, 20 years, there will be people leaving the sport feeling untouched by it. At the end of the day, I think this should have been my path. I haven't been able to feel this type of happiness in a long time. My voice, myself, and my love for the sport. It's not the outcome, it's not me standing on a podium with medals. It's me being able to walk out with a smile on my face and truly being like happy with myself. And that comes first.
Two slightly different prayer requests at two different stages in our life. We can always switch it up. It's going to do the same thing. It's about what we put into it and knowing what we want. It's okay if we get it wrong the first time. We get another shot. We get another shot. The Science of Mind textbook, page 44. The universal mind, that's law, contains all knowledge. It is the potential ultimate of all things. To it, all things are possible. To us, as much as is possible is as we can conceive, according to law. Should all the wisdom of the universe be poured over us, we should yet receive only that which we are ready to understand. That is why some draw one type of knowledge and some another, and all the same source, the source of all knowledge. And then from the Living of Science to Mind. In Thought, Feeling, and Emotion, page 163. Here's an interesting thought to speculate on. If feeling and emotion acting through the avenue of consciousness can produce such havoc, what would happen if the same feeling and emotion were constructively employed? What would happen if we could convert the energy of fear to faith the energy of doubt and uncertainty into a feeling of belonging to the universe and being safe in it. Would not the original artist itself go forth into new creation through us? Yes. Yeah. So I wasn't trying to be an Olympic athlete this week, maybe next week, or a gymnast. But I did have something that came up, and for those of you that know CSL on the larger level, you'll find some humor in this. So Thursday is the day that I do my minister's council stuff for the larger organization, and I world minister of prayer. So it's a busy Thursday, and we also have the community healthy aging fair. And so I'm sitting there after my call with the minister's council and talking to Reverend Sunshine, who is on the leadership council, and she's arranging for my stay in Calgary, where I'm speaking on March 3rd. And so Sunshine calls and she says, do you have a talk title yet? And I said, well, somebody was supposed to contact me and let me know, really more about the theme, and so that I could kind of pray on it and let it resonate with me. Oh, well, they didn't do that? I said, okay, well, I know the theme is under one sky, everyday living, science and mind. And so, how long do you have? How long do I have to get this back to you? Well, it was due 2 weeks ago. That's CSL for you. So I get a little bit of panic mode, and I'm like, okay, calm down. So actually, I called Yvonne, and I texted Yvonne and Amy, and asked them for their creative juices to flow, and they're so fun, and they're just fun and funny. So I'm texting them back and forth and telling them, a little bit panicked at first, and I'm hoping that it toned down afterwards, because they know Signs of Wine, they've been around here a little bit, and a board member. Okay, well, this is the theme. Do you have any ideas? And they're younger than I am, so I'm looking for something catchy. I'm looking for something, maybe buzzwords from 2018, and include Vegas so that they know where I'm from before I get there. And they're coming up with all sorts of stuff, and they're giggling back and forth, and I'm like, okay. And so, but they're feeding me, we're working together. We're allowing it to do what it does, right? And it's moving me out of my panic and not being confident in what I'm doing to the joy of it. To the joy of it. And so, after 2 hours or so, something like that, of texting back and forth, I came up with this. And so this is what we're going with. So you all can start praying on it. Moving from foe to Joe and not missing a thing. So you all know about FOMO. Reverend Cheryl talks about FOMO. And Patty talks about FOMO. And then there's a thing called JOMO. The joy of missing out. The joy of missing out. So moving from foe to Joe and not missing a thing. This talk is designed to express how we can use fear, doubt, worry, and not enoughness to propel ourselves forward into a new adventure and perhaps our true nature of joy. The secret is knowing when to hold them and knowing when to fold them. It is no surprise that Reverend Stacy Hilton from Las Vegas has learned this life-altering lesson. Use it in your everyday lives, even for something silly like a talk title, if you think it's silly. If you're feeling a certain way about it, it's not silly. Use the tools that you have to move through your life with ease and grace, instead of panic, worry, doubt, and fear. I promise you, you will have a better result. And you'll look younger in the end. So it's a simple process filling out this form. The simple process to sit and breathe and really be clear about what you want and whether or not your belief system will support you in that. It's a simple process to take one of these fabulous practitioners and say, can I talk to you for a second? Will you say a prayer for me? And your ministers. It's all a simple process, but it takes you making that first step. So finally, I want to end by saying there's a power in the universe greater than you are. You can use it so that it can use you. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your life.
Thank you, Russell and Kaden, for all you do. And look at that. We're set up again for this beautiful, incredibly talented man. Please welcome Robbie LeBlanc.
I thought of a final tag for your speech and I'll never forget it. And after they introduce you, you could say, "This is not fake news." It's kind of timely. I guess that was a no. Yeah, I was watching that gymnastic girl when she bounced down her butt and bounced right in that thing. All I can remember is when I was 15, I fall like bounce. Now that I'm over 50, I fall like crack. And on that note, how many people would like a free copy of my book?
Sure. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, when we're all through, sign up, send me, and write down your email. I'm going to send you a digital copy of my book. It's called Awesome, The 7 Habits of Being Awesome, helping spread positivity one awesome at a time. And then I'm coming back here to play March 1st, and I'm going to have hard copies available, and we need to talk about maybe doing a workshop based on the book. So, would anybody want a free copy? Awesome. Awesome. You guys, you want to see me jump down in the split like that girl? You're brutal, that's terrible. Just kidding. In my disco days, I used to be able to. Sorry. This next song is called Song for Rodrigo. Joaquin Rodrigo is probably the most famous guitar composer of all time. He was blind from the age of 4. He wrote the Concerto de Aranjuez. He wrote many works for Segovia and a number of other great players. So the beginning, it's going to start kind of rubato, kind of slow, with hints from the Concerto de Aranjuez, and then we kind of turn it into a Latin jam. Remember the commercial Cordoba with Carlo Montalban, and he says Cordoba. Remember that?
Yeah.
About 25 years. Well, that's the song. That's what it's based on.
see a lot of familiar faces coming on Sunday. On Sunday, the lady who talked about Las Cruces reminded me that one of our practitioners, Pamela Schweitzer, made her transition on Tuesday morning, and she passed in her sleep. So that we know that that we just keep her family in our prayers. And I would like to ask any visiting ministers or practitioners to please come forward, along with our Reverend, I'm sorry? No, I think the children I saw were all in here, and the teachers were all in here, so that's good. And one of them has dark glasses on. I wonder if she is asleep. Diva. Definition. Her picture is in the definition section. I would like to ask our ministry or prayer team to please come forward, and so that you see and know who they are. They usually have shawls on. We also, as Reverend Stacy pointed out, we have our God's Pocket, where you can leave a prayer request, and there's also one in the grand hallway. Any visitors, I would like to remind you to please sign our guest book in the grand hall so that we can keep you apprised of whatever's happening here at our center. I promise not to stalk you in any way. Awesome. Thank you so much for being here.
I do. Okay, so if everyone would stand and connect. All right. Let's just take a deep breath together. And in that energy of just pure love and pure joy, I just bring back to mind that vision of myself that is bathed in beautiful clothes with that $7,000 glass of champagne, listening to Robbie LeBlanc on the water at brunch with Reverend Cheryl Payne. And I just know that that person inside is right here and right now, and it's very clear that the world is for my asking, as it is for each of our asking. And so as I get clearer about that in which I want, I just allow that to flow and bring that to mind this week in each and every scenario as much as possible, so I can create my world the way I want it to look. Knowing that the law does exactly what it's prepared to do. It's waiting on me. It's waiting on my thought, my feeling, my emotion, and I'm preparing that belief system to set it all up. And so from that place, I just prepare myself for a wonderful, great, grand, continued Martin Luther King weekend. Well, I do small things in a great way. And so for this, I'm just so grateful. And together we say, and so it is. Let's sing our peace song.
Yes, there is peace on earth, and now it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as our power, loved ones all are we.
Repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
I know this in my mind.
I know this in my mind.
I feel it in my body.
I feel it in my body.
And so it is.
And so it is.